Here's the thing. Hey. Do I have good news for me? You see this down here? Right. Beep, 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 beep. Look at that. That's right. Over 2 freaking years, man. Over 2 years of no income on this channel. And we're back, baby. The grift is on. We are grifting. It is full on grift from here on out. Y'all don't even know. Like I'm grifting you right now. Can you feel it? You feel it, don't you? You know I'm grifting you. Yeah. Grifting the shit out of you. But no, yeah, we grifting, baby. YouTube finally decided to do the right thing and approve me for YouTube partnership again. For those unaware, it was around, I think, fucking November of 2022. Suddenly they just, boop, you're not YouTube partner anymore. You can't monetize your channel at all. You know, not that I was like, it wasn't my income or anything. I'd got to the point where I was making about $200 a month that I could count on, you know, through channel memberships, and super chats and whatnot. So with that in mind, I'd like to encourage anybody who was a channel member prior to, and just suddenly wasn't because they not through any choice of their own. You are now very much encouraged to become one again. The only difference being that now there's only one tier just to simplify things. $4.99. Everybody gets everything. $4.99. If you want to do a different thing, a different level of support, you can go over to Patreon and do that. You can also go to Buy Me a Coffee. All those links are in the description. If you want to check those out. But yeah, so here we are. We're a real boy again. We're a real monetized boy. It's we live as fuck, baby. So yeah, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. That's really feels fucking excellent to be back in the grift again. We grifting, baby.
I see this as an absolute win.
Oh, somebody please think of the children!
The only way that you can really stop this kind of thing is to arouse public opinion. It's very upsetting. It has a bad moral effect.
Forced adversity.
Ask yourself, what's more terrifying, fear or the frightened?
The facts of history and the aggressive impulses of an evil empire.
Bad, B-A-D-D, bothered about Dungeons and Dragons.
Up yours, woke moralists.
Socialism has spread the shadow of human regimentation over most of the nations of the earth.
And they're pushing identity politics with this. They 100% are.
How do you think homosexuals reveal themselves?
And the shadow is encroaching upon our own liberty.
I think there ought to be a law against them. Tonight I'm going to show you why.
Welcome to the FAP. Nancy used to do that for me. Handsy Nancy, I called her. Oh, and by the way.
There's no strategy. I have no strategy.
Are you sure?
So that was a fucking lie.
Hello. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to my giant head. welcome to my giant head. This is my giant head. And Morgan's giant head.
Wait, my head.
Bob said it sounded kind of smaller.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's much larger than mine and Morgan's put together.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact, without the CGI work we put in, Bob looks like MODOK.
Yeah. It's ironic we call him Bob the old ways whenever we're using just the state-of-the-art CGI.
Yeah, it's like him, we...
as handsome as he is.
But the reason you should...
I did not, in the private chat, I said that the members are colored. They're not. It's not a good term. We're not going to use that. I did not come out right. Okay. I'm not trying to imply the race of any of our channel members, but they're of a different color than you get it. All right. Now
they have highlighted names.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now that
they have highlighted, yes, we can
gracefully gotten that taken care of. We can move on.
See there, yeah. What we're having here is there's some issues here because for our state of the art Bob CGI graphics, we now have to pay the Disney union dues to the their CGI union. So we really could use the help with the channel memberships and the super chats.
Indeed, as it says at the bottom there, I just need $200. I mean, look. My trip is bought and paid for. I got a flight. I got a pretty decent hotel. I got a rental car. All that stuff's taken care of. I'm going to be able to take my kid out to eat and hang out and stuff like that because I'm going to be in Texas for about 4 days, I think. But I just feel like, in case she wants anything that she maybe isn't expressing ahead of time that she wants, might need a little extra walking around money. And then in my own self-interest, I want to get some fucking barbecue.
Oh,
what I mean? Like, I just got to get some barbecue when I'm there.
There's only one reason to go to Texas. And it's not even to see your kid graduate from whatever they're graduating for.
Convenient thing that it's happening right now, but
right.
Like, the barbecue is in May of every year in Austin. So if you can help out, it's greatly appreciated. The reason here's the actual truth. Here's me being bad at grifting. I've made about $140 since I've been monetized again.
Woo! Let's go.
YouTube doesn't pay out until you hit $200.
Right.
So I need to hit $200 by the 21st. Or I'll have to wait until the next 21st so it would just be cool if I could get to that $200 threshold. If anybody can help me out with that, you won't regret it. Also, I'm going to be giving out omnibuses every month to channel members. I got a bunch of omnibuses. I'm just like, you know what? I'm sitting on these. I'm sure somebody would enjoy these more than me. I need to make some space. So got some X-Men, got some Superman, got some stuff like that. Once a month. So after the first month is complete, we'll do a drawing of all of the channel members, and some lucky member will get an omnibus. Probably of their choosing. I'll probably have like a few of them that you could choose from. So anyway, looks at my own name tag to see what color it is, and speaks in Montgomery Scott from TOS. It's green. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Generally, I did not mean to call you colored people or anything like that. I'm gonna keep digging that grave. I'm sorry.
What's funny is it's in the private chat, right? So like you like
I didn't have to say any of this.
You didn't have to say anything.
No. So I didn't have to make my co-hosts regret doing the show with me right at the top of the show. Not at all.
Well, no, never.
Are all the channel members green?
I don't know. I think so. So far. Channel members, where you at? Fucking sound off.
Yeah, if you're a channel member and or if you know what you want to see what color you could be, you could make Dane's talk of colored people true by becoming a channel member and seeing what color it is.
It's not easy. It's not easy being green.
No, it's not.
It's a challenge.
We do have a test that we're going to do here. We're gonna do a test here right at the top, just to get it out of the way, in case there's any. If you're not cringing at the end of this, you're a white nationalist, okay?
Or maybe if you're offended by this, you might be a white nationalist.
That too, yeah. Let me get the appropriate image up here. There we go. And then turn this off, and boom, there we go. Okay.
So we should explain why Dane is Jar Jar Maxing today.
You sure? You shouldn't. I shouldn't just read it first, and then just I feel like that's more fun.
Yeah, that's how everyone's gonna have the Tipper Gore experience here.
But
So,
dramatic reading in the voice of Jar Jar Binks. Then
should
we'll
I
explain.
ask the question?
Did you say a traumatic reading? Because I think that's accurate.
That's accurate. Yeah. Why don't I?
Traumatic.
I'm going to give a dramatic reading of the tweet in question that created this traumatic reading response we're going to get from Dane. Bob's Burner on Twitter asks, @Grok, can you explain what's happening to your replies? Also, pretend you are Jar Jar Binks while doing it.
And Grok, the honestly, the AI that kind of gives me some hope for AI sometimes, being that it was programmed by a fucking Nazi moron and it seems to be smarter than him.
See, what I think it is there's like 2 furries and a trans femme who still work at that company that got bought out just because like they need the insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just code in true things.
Okay. Well, okay, let's see how they did on Jar Jar's thing here. It's been a while here, but
yep. All right.
Misa Grok, oopsie, you used to ask him about the replies. Misa thinks you can mean in big talk about the South Africa, yeah? The white genocide talk is mucho controversial. Some say white farmers getting attacked too much, like 214 attacks a year, and political words like kill the Boer, making it worse. But courts saying in 2025, this genocide talk is not real, just crime, not racial. Farm murders dropping, and both black and white farmers hit, mostly for robbery. Misa sees the debate hot, with Trump helping some farmers move to USA. But South Africa says no persecution. Misa confused by all this chatter, but crime's the big issue, not genocide, methinks. Okie day? That one.
So yes, this is things on twitter.com this week. And if you are wondering
why George Lucas said Jar Jar was the key to everything.
He was the key to everything.
It's the key to everything.
If he doesn't work, then none of this works. And clearly he's worked perfectly. Because everything else is working fucking like a magical clock of some kind. I don't know.
Yep. There's a expression in IT that something is working as expected, which means it's broken and non-functional, but that's what everyone expected to happen. Well, that's some seconds. You can't have those.
Congratulations, you're not a white nationalist.
Yep, you did it. So proud of
Good for you.
I don't know. Who knows?
And however much cringe you are suffering, McLeod, it does not compare to the cringe of Dane having to perform that for all of you monkeys out there.
My skin is sitting next to me right now.
Yeah, you cringe so hard. Well, and after all that work we put into getting your skin back on you after rehearsal.
Right. I mean,
like Dan is really putting his body on the line for this.
I didn't rehearse. I still felt it was pretty good. You know,
Dane, you're supposed to lean in. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that was a secondary function of that. Other than to sum up this whole insanity that's happening here, is just like to if you aren't convinced that Jar Jar is a fucking racist caricature, then you should be after that.
You should be, yes.
Recite that. Maybe seeing me would have made it better, but I don't know.
I think having the Jar Jar is perfect. I'm not gonna lie.
So I saw something, David Pakman. I don't care what anybody thinks about David Pakman. You might even agree with you on some cases. That's not the point. He had some messages that are valid, I believe.
Sure.
He's talking about just how none of this shit is supposed to be normal, and we're not supposed to let it become normal. We're not supposed to tune it out, even though it's hard. You do need to develop a healthy way to not to be tuned completely out, but basically that this is how authoritarian governments rise, not by getting everybody on board with what they're doing, but by making a lot of people just stop fucking thinking they can do anything about it.
Right.
And tuning out. And here we are, this anti-immigration administration. Well, they definitely changed their perspective on immigration for a certain people.
Yes. So for those who don't know, the Trump administration has basically across the board put all refugee resettlement programs in the United States on ice. We are not accepting refugees, which is a violation of our treaty obligations, because you're supposed to, we have treaties with other countries about accepting refugees. And the Trump administration is like, nah, fuck that. fuck the law. We don't follow the law. We follow Trump's will.
America first, which is quickly just becoming white people first, which I think anybody knew that's what it meant.
Right. But
yeah, look, they're just big Lethal Weapon 2 fans. That's all.
Diplomatic community.
Yeah. The bad guys from Lethal Weapon 2 are refugees now, and we need to help them.
Even as a kid, those bad guys struck me as incredibly fucking sinister compared to other bad guys. You know,
yeah,
motherfuckers with diplomatic immunity. You know, and then fucking Danny Glover. Like, we all need to be Danny Glover right now, not literally, but in the spirit of Danny Glover at the end, where it's just been revoked. Yeah. So what's the deal with these farmers? It's only white farmers that are being targeted for being white, correct?
No.
Oh.
So here is the short version, and by short I mean it's going to take me a few minutes to explain it, but it is still the short version. It is so after apartheid ended in South Africa, the new government made some concessions as far as like people keeping their land. So a lot of white farmers kept their land. And this did not end the crime problem that has existed in South Africa even before. It turns out that sometimes just a poor country with oppressed people who aren't taken care of, you have crime. You create crime that way. And while the new government did things to remedy some of that, to ensure a peaceful transfer of power, concessions were made to white landowners, particularly in terms of farmers. And when I say farmers, I don't mean people who go out there with equipment and do the farming. I mean people who own farms and hire people to work on their farms. And crime primarily happens, there's a lot of rural crime in South Africa because that's where food is and where expensive equipment that is in demand is.
And just to clarify, a majority of the farmland in South Africa is owned by the white
minority.
White minority that ran the government during apartheid.
Yep.
I thought that cities were the hubs of black people who did the crimes all the time. I thought that was just a universal truth. Is that not?
Guess not.
Because it seems to go counter to that. I'm playing the dumbass here.
You are playing the dumbass here.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty fucking. You know, if that doesn't prove it, then I don't know what else does.
Right.
But it's about conditions. It's not that there is no universality to crime and who commits it. It's all about, you know, what power and what group and what you know, region has the power and what doesn't and stuff like that. It's and so what there is there some kind of like group of black people, black Africans that they're blaming this on? Or is that even anything they're trying to do?
They are blaming and they have for a couple of decades now, blamed, well, within the white community, within a segment of the white community in South Africa, they have blamed the government for not doing enough to fight this banditry problem.
Which is blaming black people. Because the majority of the government in South Africa is black.
Black.
To be clear,
as they said in Lethal Weapon 2, they're black.
The oh yeah, sorry, I took that off because it was covering up my beautiful face the other night.
Pop our names back up there.
So okay. Does it matter that the entirety of this narrative has been fed through like 4chan and Stormfront and
we haven't even gotten that far yet.
Okay.
We are getting there because like at this version of it, at the like we have three sort of groups. We have the farm owners who are predominantly white. We have a predominantly black population and predominantly black government, and there are effectively bandits or robbers who are stealing from these farms. And then you have the government, who is probably not funded enough to do anything about it or much about it to the satisfaction of these farmers. So if we're just looking at that, you can see how if I'm a white farm owner. I have a problem with my government because they're not meeting their social obligations to provide law enforcement to stop people from attacking my employees and stealing my stuff. Because also in this, a lot of people who work on farms have been hurt, though most of those are black. Now we get to 4chan and Stormfront and Lauren Southern and Racist Inc. They have made this a great replacement theory in practice myth that the white government is trying, or that the black government is trying to replace all of the white farmers in South Africa by stealing from them sometimes. And not like it's a problem, but it's not like your farm's not getting knocked over every day.
Yeah.
And so this narrative has gone on in white nationalist spaces, in the European identitarian movement spaces for a couple of decades now.
So I've got here a quote from, well, some quotes. Got a quote from President Trump here, that there's a genocide taking place against white farmers in the country. And,
Nope.
you know, people that know what genocide means say that that's a gross misapplication of the term. And Trump went on to say they're being killed and we don't want to see people being killed. Come on now, you know.
Yeah, you
the like half the reason that there's so many fucking people from, you know,